Hello people, here are more Valorant tips and tricks. So Harbor came out and his orb, it's pretty useless. But here's a fun little mechanic I found about it. So it's a smoke, right? That would mean that haunts and recon darts can't scan through it. Well, surprise, surprise, if you throw a haunt or a recon dart right over there outside of the orb and you break the orb, the Harbor inside gets tagged before the smoke even clears. This gives the enemy an advantage to shoot you down. Imagine it as a swoop peek but like backwards. Now Raze's boombot is annoying, but at least you can shoot it down. Not with this trick though. If you use your Astra gravity well to pull the boombot and then the Raze satchels the boombot out of the gravity well, the boombot bounces high in the air and rushes to the enemy. Imagine you're defending the site as Astra, then you use your smoke and gravity well to stop the enemies from pushing, and then this happens to you. Bro, just uninstall. But yeah, that's basically how it's done. It's terrifying. By the way, this trick is from Valorantic on TikTok. Now even as a Viper main, I would agree that lineups are annoying. But let's counter that real quick. Here's a double shock dart anti-lineup for Ascent A site. So obviously you want to play as Sova, and once you've cleared the site and you've figured that the Viper's been using lineups because of the last few rounds, you want to go right over there onto that line just like that. Now from this line, you want to pay attention to the top right tip of that cannon. That will be your reference point. Don't take out your bow yet, take out your knife or your gun so that you can align the top tip of your shock dart ability icon right there on that reference point. Once that's done, take out your bow and fire this one with 2 charges. After that, you're going to look down and I want you to pay attention to the top tip of that wire over there. That's the second reference point. Take out your bow and align the bottom tip of the left diamond right there on that reference point. Fire your second arrow with 1 charge. Put the 2 together and it should look something like this. Now a lot of people would use their updraft or TP to get on top of this off angle over here on Breathe. Stop doing that.
Stop it.
Beasto from TikTok found a way to get on top of this off angle with a consistent crouch jump. First, you want to stand at the edge and you want to align your crosshair perfectly at the edge of this wall. Now from here, you're going to aim right there at the bottom right tip of that brick. After that, you jump crouch while holding D, and just like that, you're on top of the off angle. This is a lot easier to do with Jet because of her passive, and it is a little bit harder to do with other agents, so you might want to practice this in custom first. Do you plant the spike on this rope on Icebox? Stop doing that.
Stop it.
Because with Omen, you can simply smoke off the spike, get on the rope, go up to the point where you can defuse while still staying on the rope, and then defuse. Now commonly in this scenario, the enemies would try to spray you down, but the problem is that their crosshair placement would be pretty low. Now typically when you see a chamber trip, as Omen you usually smoke it off when you're flanking, right? Well, if you're smoking it like this, you're doing it wrong. Chamber's trip usually detects players by their heads, so for as long as the trip cannot see your head, it won't detect you. So as Omen, you can just smoke the trip like this where the smoke is super low. This allows you to walk right past the trip without smoking any unnecessary angles. This next trick is from Roop. But you do need some friends for this one though, so for the people who don't have any duos, I'm sorry. So if you can get your friend to boost you out of low elo, on top of this box right over here, you can go onto the edge of this box just like that. Oh yeah, you also have to be Cypher for this one by the way. Now from here, you're going to take out your camera, aim somewhere over there, and jump until you can place your camera right at the tip of that building. Now this camera could spot anybody entering from B main. While we're playing Cypher on Fracture, here's a simple one-way cage that I can teach you people. Stand right over here on this corner, aim right there at the top left tip where these 2 lines intersect right over there, and then throw your cage. It should land right over there. Now once you pop these cages, you want to hold from over here in sight, and do not under any circumstance hold from over here. That is because if you're holding from over there, the enemies can crouch and see your feet. Not a good way to go. Now we move over to Ascent for this Yoru TP lineup. First, you want to go over into B lobby or tiles or whatever you want to call it, and go right over here onto this corner just like that. Now from this corner, you're going to notice this X right over there. I want you to aim at the right side of the center of that X. As you can see, my crosshair is not perfectly in the center, it's a little bit to the right. Take out your TP and then cast it out, and then this TP would go all the way to CT. As you can see over here, if the enemies are not holding from pizza, they will not hear this TP at all. And while we're following this TP, feel free to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Once the TP is already in CT, you throw a flash to make sure that your teleportation noise is masked, and then teleport. Now you can go ahead and flank the enemies from behind. While we're on this side of Ascent, here's a random fact. The glowing color on this metal thingy indicates the amount of health that it has. Blue means it has full health, and it would transition to red as you shoot it. Now back to my first topic about Harbor's orb. It takes about 13 bullets to shoot it down, but that's just enough time for you to half defuse the spike. While it does stop other bullet-like abilities like jet knives and chamber ults, it gladly does not block lineups. Live on, Viper mains. And yes, this also applies to Raze grenades, Raze ultimates, and Sova shock dart lineups. Now let's talk about Harbor's ultimate. His ultimate can spot enemy players, so you can use this for info, for example, spotting a Viper inside her ultimate. Another thing about his ultimate, it also spots Yoru clones. So if the enemy team has a Yoru on it, do not trust that information entirely. One last thing about the ultimate, as you can see over here, it moves forward as time goes by. But did you know that the speed of his ultimate could be changed? If you walk forward while you cast his ultimate, it goes by faster, as you can clearly see right over here. On the contrary, if you walk backwards while casting his ult, it would go slower. It's very similar to an Omen blind actually. Now Harbor isn't exactly the best on defense, but he is pretty effective when it comes to smoking off multiple angles with one wall. For example, here on Ascent A site. As you can see, both Heaven and Tree are smoked off with one wall. The same thing can be done while you're defending here on B site. You can smoke off B main and B lobby with just one wall. Anyways, while we're on Ascent, here's a Fade retake lineup for Ascent A site. You want to go right over here onto this line right over here. From here, you're going to pay attention to the top right tip of that metal thing right over there. That will be your reference point. Now take out your Haunt, place the right side of that hotbar line right there on the reference point, and then throw. It should land right over there and it should tag every enemy in these spots. Do be careful of anybody hiding in hell though. Here's another Fade lineup. At the start of the round, you want to go right over here at the middle of this grate thingy right over here. From here, you're going to aim right there at the top of that lamp and then aim a little bit higher to that tile. Then take out your Haunt. Then you do a one-step running jump throw. The Haunt should land right over there, giving you an easy wallbang. Now many of you people probably already know this, but Skye's flash has been nerfed. When you throw her flash, you have to wait until this meter goes right past this bar right over here. Otherwise, the enemies would only be flashed for a shorter duration. That would mean that pop flashes like this won't work anymore. But people, I have the solution. You want to go right over here onto this area right over here. Then from here, you want to aim right there at that barrier of that window. Take out your flash, throw it at the start of the round, and the moment that that meter goes right past that bar, pop the flash. That pops exactly where that window is, and it should blind anybody here on B main for some easy frags. By the way, this works as a support flash also as well. Here's a Harbor and Sage combo. You can use Harbor's orb and Sage's wall while you're defusing the spike, because the enemies don't have enough time or bullets to break both the orb and the wall in order for them to stop the defuse. Unless they have lineups. In that case, GG. Now this next trick I got from Mr. Lowlander. Go ahead and sue me, people. So Sage's Orb or Chamber's Trip reduces jump height as well. That means that you can't jump on top of steps like this like you normally can. Well, Mr. Lowlander found a solution. You can actually jump crouch and get on top of these steps just like that. This can save you from becoming this Sage. When you die on the Rope of Fracture, where does your body go? Well, surprisingly, it doesn't go at the bottom. It actually goes right over here on enemy spawn. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but also it doesn't. Anyways, next trick. So everybody's familiar with the Omen pick up the spike ult thing, right? Well, back then you could shoot the enemy Omen and it would prevent them from getting the spike. But now, even if you shoot the enemy Omen, they still get the spike. So good job, Omen players. Speaking of Omen, his TP goes right past Breach's ult. I'm pretty sure people know that by now. But it also goes right past Fade's ult. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, I know. Oh, another thing about Omen and Fade. You can actually TP out of Fade's Seize thingy. Yeah, that's a thing that you can do. You can do it with every agent that can TP, like Yoru and Chamber. And one last trick, you can slide right past Chamber's Strip with Neon. So anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope you people enjoyed. I'm sorry it took so long. I had a lot of things to do in college recently. But hey, at least I'm back with content, right? If you ended up enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And to the 1.6k that's already here while I'm recording, I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much, people. Oh yeah, and I also started a Road to Radiance series called Valorant Minds, where I share my thought process while I climb right through the ranks of Valorant. The video should be in the end card of this video. Anyways, go check that out if you're interested, and that's about it. Bye-bye.